Howdy ho, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? It's Zubin. How are you? Thought I'd go live. I'm in a hotel room in Arlington, Virginia, near the Pentagon. Secret mission. No secret mission. Just ZDogg MD Industries rolling across the country, causing havoc, doing crime, floating Chinese weather balloons. Come on in. What is going on here? Michelle, test. It's 11 a.m. edit. What are we testing here? There's two things that say test. Oh, est, Eastern Standard Time. What's up, everyone? There you go. Phil is here. Dig the bougie hotel. Yes, it's super bouge. It's actually not. It's basically like a Courtyard Marriott that they put another name on. That's what it feels like. It's great. But I was here to meet some different people, and then also a wedding, which was really amazing. It was held in this Orthodox church, and the priest was this amazing, like he would describe the context of all the different rituals and everything that was happening. And I was like, dude, that's a thing. It was really beautiful. So I was in the hotel room. I'm waiting for my flights a little later this afternoon back home. And I thought I'd spend a little present moment with you. I was going to say spend a little time. And I was like, that's not a thing. Aretha Williams, good morning from Washington, D.C. You are across the river from me, I think, or the Beltway or whatever it is. I don't understand. I can see the Washington Monument from where I am, something like that, and the Pentagon. Those bougie hotels have the best bedding, Milkfish. I know, right? It's so plush, and there were only 3 or 4 bed bugs. Pretty good. It's crazy too, because there's this cold snap, right? So it was like 20 degrees, and the Z does not know what to do with that kind of weather. Also, calling himself the Z is a sign of megalomania. Yeah, I had no idea what to do with it. And, I'm bald, so like I lose 99% of my body heat through my dome. So last night after the wedding, I was, walking around a little, and I was like, I might just be found dead in my own stool, and the stool will be frozen. Janice is in Phoenix. How the girls? Oh, the girls are loving life without me. They get DoorDash, all their favorite Chick-fil-A when Dad's not there to like tisk them about the trans fats, which I don't know that Chick-fil-A has anymore. Good morning from the upper Midwest, Alyssa. Good morning to you. Good to see you, Gabes. Risa says, the first thing I do is untuck all that shit at the bottom of the bed. I hate feeling trapped. Dude, I do the opposite. I crawl into the thing like a pupating caterpillar, and I just let this thing cocoon around me. And I'm just hoping that I will completely die to my current self and emerge from the chrysalis as a beautiful butterfly with infinite degrees of freedom and flight. And instead I wake up covered in my own stool. I don't get it. I don't understand. Milk says, hey, Z, you need to get a lamb's knit hat for your cold head. It's the modern day tinfoil hat. Oh, dude. I thought, I actually do have, hold on, come with me. Come with me, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll show you the hat that I do have that my wife got for me. It's here's the room, by the way. Look at this. I've left it in chaos. And then here's my view. Got a Best Buy across the street. Yeah. Hang on. Oh. And they have a Nespresso machine. So, it tastes like boiled monkey anus, but that's one of my favorite flavor profiles, honestly. Yeah, so my wife got me this North Face. You guys may have seen it if you've caught me on, take this shit off, caught me on Facebook Live, because I'll wear it in my backyard. But it is pretty warm, not going to lie. I believe it's made from the pubic hair of the South American sloth. That's what makes it so silky smooth, because everybody knows, all scientists know, that sloths have the silkiest pubes. They, unlike human pubes, they don't have the split ends, and that's what makes them so silky. Jana's here talking to Erica. I missed Erica's comment. Susan says, hi from Newcastle, Washington. Jason says, hello from the woke capital of the world, Portland, Oregon. Lots of people still wear masks here. Yeah, DC, minimal masks, I've noticed. San Francisco is starting to thin out on the number of masks. I met a lot of interesting people at this wedding yesterday, really wonderful people, very connected in politics and industry and investment community and medicine. And to every single one, they think what's been going on with COVID and everything is insane. And 201, every single one of them is scared to say that publicly. That's the kind of culture that we've created, is like one of fear of any kind of normal, rational debate or discussion or normal human discourse. So I think we're going through a phase, though, and I think we're starting to wake up because, again, there's the silent majority, and they're silent because they're afraid. The silent majority of humans in this country that are just like, dude, can we just be sensible? It's not that hard. Can be present and sensible, love each other, still disagree, and not be insane. Vicky Doc, give it up. Who got married? I can't tell you because they very specifically asked everyone to respect the privacy of the thing, and it was kind of an intimate event. So when they let me know I can say who it is, then I will definitely let you know, and you guys will enjoy it. Guaranteed. Lizette, hi Z, how was your talk? I'm doing an online one-day retreat with Matt Garrett, Angelo's alumni, sort of. Love it. See you later. Oh, enjoy the retreat. Stop talking. Go do the retreat. Nothing else to say. What did you think of that balloon, Janice? It's so interesting, like, because the Chinese have been flying those balloons for years. I mean, and just now they publicly out one. And so it does make you wonder, like, what's all the underlying politics between both countries and what's going on. And honestly, you want my real opinion? I don't give two fucks about any of this. This is all a make-believe world. Like geopolitics, politics, nation states, like all of it is stuff we make up in mind space. In the end, our true nature doesn't care whether we blow ourselves up with nukes. It's all a dream. That said, if you want to maximize your enjoyment of the dream and keep it from being a nightmare, then you have to play those games. So my thoughts are, I think it's really interesting. It's probably embarrassing for the Chinese government. But what do I know? I know nothing. I mean, I have no inside information on this. So I'm as in the dark and manipulated by whatever media, government, individuals, bots want to manipulate. So that's what I think about it. I should have no opinion on it because I'm completely uneducated, not having inside information. Garudot, ever passed outside from too many drinks, and the only reason you wake up is because your body shaked and woke your brain up? What is my medical condition? I have no idea. I've never had that happen. I've not talked to anyone who's had that happen. That's interesting. I would definitely talk to your own physician on that. Albin Martinez, political shenanigans. That's what they are, the shenanigans. It's Schrodinger's weather balloon. Yeah, exactly, Milk. That's exactly what it is. It's like, if you look at it, it exists. If you don't look at it, it doesn't exist. It both exists and doesn't exist until you open the box. And then it's decided. Oh, glad you like the videos we do with Rachel, Susan. She's amazing. Alyssa, speaking of sensible and COVID, why do administrators think it's sensible to wear a mask while having a foreign object shoved up your butt? Great question. Basically, the administrators are the ones shoving the foreign objects up your butt. I met a really interesting person that I think we're going to do some shows with, a healthcare economist. So stay tuned. That'll be a lot of fun. Vicky Doc, too many drinks was the medical condition. I didn't want to say it, Vicky Doc. But you know what I've noticed? I have noticed this. Like people who use a lot of substances, they're often looking for a reason apart from the substances for why something's gone south. And I don't know if that person was joking or not, but like, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I after about 35 drinks, I start having seizures and I shit myself and I lose my job. What's the reason for this? Is there an underlying, should I get a series of tests? Like, okay. Jonna says, my husband is going for back surgery this week and they're not testing for COVID here in Southern Massachusetts. Yeah, I mean, that's good because what's the point? Everybody's had it. You're either vaccinated or you're not. Like, the thing is pretty much endemic. And the big predicted winter surge never really materialized in any significant way because there's so much collective immunity now. I'm going to skip this one because I don't know what's going on there. AZ, any plans to interview Jay Bhattacharya again? Would love to see it. Salusa too. I should do that, shouldn't I? Let me, I'm going to email Jay actually as we talk, because I've been meaning to actually reach out with everything that he's been through with all this stuff. It's like, let me just put him on my email and make a draft. Thanks for reminding me. Hopefully that'll happen. Yeah, assuming he's in the Bay and not on traveling anywhere, I'll try to get him on. He's just a wonderful guest. You guys don't know him personally. He is a superb human being, like truly, truly driven to help other people. Wonderful human being. Delta Wave says this balloon should be being brought down intact, and now they're claiming victory. Who popped the balloon? Who popped the balloon? Dude, it's like, I don't know. If I were in the military, I'd feel like a little kid all the time. Just get to shoot stuff, pop balloons, frighten people. I don't know. The whole thing's a dream, you guys. Like, this is an illusion. It's fun. It's fun to play the game, like, of geopolitics and, this and that and the other thing. But like, one real firm glimpse of what's in front of your face that isn't in front or in back, it's out of space and time. That is your true nature, what you actually are. You'll just start laughing and be like, I can't believe I took any of this shit seriously. Really, I'm not kidding. And those of you who know this, who've had this experience, you know exactly what I'm pointing to, that all of this reality that we think is real is thought stuff. It's all, and we're all complicit in creating it together. Like, we all create it. Like, if you go to a wedding and you spend enough time interacting with people, you start to believe the dream is real. And then all you got to do is go back to your hotel room and sit in silence for 5 minutes. And your true nature shines forth in every single experience, in the sound of the housekeeper upstairs vacuuming, in the sensation in your finger, in the thought that pops in your head that, like, what will I have for lunch? That's your just true nature shining forth radiantly and disappearing in and out of nothing, never really even there, and yet there. Totally paradoxical. Only now. And even now implies that there's something other than now. The simplest mantra for this is just this, just this. Your true nature is just this, just what's happening. And we love to tell stories about it and pretend there's a future and a past and a me and another. And that's a fun game. It's a fun dream when it's a dream. When it turns into a nightmare and generates suffering, that's when the yearning to find what you actually are, to return to, oh, I'd forgotten. Like, and our true nature has been hiding in plain sight the entire time. That's what's amazing about it. And kind of the joke's on us. The joke's on the perceived separate character that's in the dream. And when it sees it, when the character even sees it, it just goes, oh, whoops. Starts laughing. Rose, do you leave your body when you meditate? I guess another a way to phrase that would be, what is body? Body is a thought. So do you leave your body when you meditate implies several things are true. There's a you, there's a body, there's the act of meditation. What if it were more like this? Meditation is simply the openness to whatever's happening right now. And when that is truly inhabited, you're not doing anything. In fact, the idea of you kind of falls away as a thought. The idea of body falls away as a thought, and there's just the sense field radiating experience. So what you would call a sensation in your chest or an emotion is simply perceived as just that, just the vibrating energy pattern of whatever that is. And every word I use to describe it is doing it violence, because it can't possibly capture the infinity of the experience. So in some ways, natural meditation is simply tuning in, dropping away from having awareness trapped in thought and story, and dropping into just this, which means inside, outside of the body are all thought, 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 thought. So what's this? When every single conception of what you are and what this is drops away and is seen as just thought, what are you now? What is this now? Is there even a you apart from this experience? Or is there just the experience radiating here, there, everywhere? You can't locate it, because what even is location when there's no thought to say inside, outside, here, there, 20 feet away, in my body? What if all that drops and there's just this? Just the sense fields, the feeling in your chest, without the label chest, without the label feeling, without the label your. That one sensation is the entire universe in that moment. And then it's gone. And there's something else. And can you find a problem in this moment without going into thought? Without a thought trying to think and push and pull on this moment. I want it to be this way. I want it to be that way. I don't like this feeling in my chest. Okay, what if that is seen as a thought and released and allowed? You're not resisting it. Or if there's resistance, you're feeling the resistance. Oh, resistance is happening. What else is here right now? Before thought. If this moment suddenly popped into existence from nowhere and you had no history, no future, no story, no birth, no death, what are you now? That's it. Just look there and keep going back. Keep looking, keep looking, keep looking, keep looking. And experience comes and falls away and comes and falls away and comes and falls away. And where are you in that? Sandra, lately I find it difficult to be still, practicing with deliberate breathing, in the positive, out the negative. That's a good approach. Here's another thought, and it's a thought, but maybe use it as a pointer. Don't look at the thought, don't look at the finger pointing at the moon. Look at the moon. So when I say this, so it's like this. I find it difficult to be still, so I'm using a practice, right? Can you find in the most chaotic possible scene where stillness seems absurd? Last night at the wedding, people are dancing. There's lots of noise. Someone's talking in my ear. In that chaos, can you find the deep stillness that has never not been central to everything? It's right here. All the perceived chaos is happening in that stillness, as that stillness. It's where sound meets silence. And it's always right here, right now. You don't need to make it. You don't need to return to it. You don't need to heal into it. It's just this moment. It's outside of time, which means it doesn't last forever. It means it's outside of time. It's eternal. It's outside of space. It doesn't mean it's huge. It means space doesn't apply. It's the still silence. There's nothing you need to do to make it happen because it is your true nature. It's right here. So sure, you can follow the breath into it. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, let everything go into the silence. And that means that movement is welcome. Sound is welcome. Sensation is welcome. Because the silence is untouched by anything. Doc Z living like a tourist, Delta Wave. That's right. I'm living the dream. Who's texting me? Is that Risa yelling at me? More or less. And check in with deep breath. You can do that, Delta. That's perfect. I can meditate standing up. People were freaked out when I was walking in a meditation trance. Walking meditations are very powerful, but here's a question. What's the difference between life and meditation in the way that I just described it? So you can walk through the airport and crazy stuff is happening and you're rooted in and as that silence as you walk. That's a meditation. That's also life. That's also just what's happening. And so it's all fine and dandy to be able to meditate, but if you can't take it off the proverbial mat and into life, a heck of a lot of good it's going to do you. You'll have relief when you're sitting, when you're focused, and then when you launch right back into your mind in this complicit thought-generated world without the awareness of what it is, suffering is right knocking at your door constantly. That friction of resisting what is, the friction of believing the dream, the friction of believing the thought, the friction of believing identity. Like all those things are fine. Thoughts, identities, beliefs, yes, as long as you can see them for what they are. Because then they don't have any control. They don't generate the friction of suffering. They're just another phenomenon that's beautifully happening perfectly only now and always now. The Shape says, meditation needs to be taught in schools at an early age. I can't disagree with that. And you have to teach it in a way that honors the fact that children already know this. We condition it out of them. It's less that we need to teach meditation. It's more that we need to change how we condition our children. Because we're doing to them what was done to us. The generation of separateness, the idea of all this striving, which I think in the relative world, it's important. Ambition can be very helpful. A sense of competition, a sense of doership. You need that to probably put food on the table or make change in the world. But that's not the end of the story, because you can incorporate that and transcend that and include that and still know the truth of what you are, what we are, what is. To even say it's one is going too far, because that implies there could be more than one, which is our mind's trick, that there's something we can push and pull on, there's something we can change, there's some sense of doership. It's fine to believe that we can do those things, except when it isn't. It's paradoxical. Janice, yeah, in kindergarten, we took a little nap on our mat. I have no idea if they do that now. I did too, right? Take those little naps in kindergarten. By the way, what is sleep and a nap? Isn't that an interesting question? We, in the waking state, think there's a world and a self and an identity and a story and a history and a past and human history and the Big Bang and all this. When we go to sleep and we dream, a world spins up. That's entirely mind created. How could it not be, right? But is it really that different from this waking state? This waking state just feels a little more constrained by the complicity with other dreamers. But in the dream state, you're less constrained. But what about deep sleep? Dreamless, silent, deep sleep. Do you lose consciousness? When you wake up in the morning and someone says, "How did you sleep?" You say, "Good, bad, whatever." How do you know that? There's this intuition that you've been present the whole time. You didn't disappear. In other words, there was a thread of isness that went straight through that experience. But where did you go? Meaning the self you think you are, your personality, your story, your kids, your whatever. They blinked out of existence, but you remained. When you're in kindergarten and you take a nap on a mat, it's the middle of the effing day. And you blink out of existence. The you that you thought you were blinks out of existence when you nap in dreamless sleep. And yet you are. How can the you that blinked out of existence be who you are if it can blink out of existence just by laying down on a mat? This is a dream. Waking up is simply noticing that you are, even in deep dreamless sleep, noticing that you are before thought, before story, before identity, you are. Emily Anderson, why does life go by so quickly? That's a thought, isn't it? Life went by so quickly. That's a thought. What happens if you drop that thought and you right now drop into this present moment? What's happening right now? No thoughts, just this. Where is quickly? Where is life? Where is time? Where is any of that? There's just this radiant, eternal moment. Quickly doesn't even make sense here. And this is what we are. This is our birthright. This is what is conditioned out of us as a young person when they tell us life goes by quickly, and then we believe it. Yes, life is precious. Yes, it's in a chronological sense short, but it's also infinite right here, right now. It's always been just now. Time doesn't exist if you live in the moment. And here's a question. The shape. I love that handle. How can you not live in the moment? Even when you think you're not in the moment, there's only the moment. There's only this. There's always only been this. Your entire memory of who you are, your birth, your wedding, whatever it is, All the story is a thought happening now. Your entire identity is a series of thoughts that happen only now. The sense that you're a separate person is a series of thoughts, deep thought belief, and sensations that a thought tells you through a filter of space and time is a body that's here in space and moving through time. All of that is a thought that happens now. And sometimes all it takes to wake up is dropping right into now. Only this. Don't believe a single thought. Isn't that something? And the joke's on us. Like our true nature is just laughing. It's shining forth in every cell in your body. And we don't see it. And the artists and the musicians and the poets for thousands of years have been pointing right at it and sometimes not even knowing that they're pointing at it. It's almost like our true nature is trying to wake us up constantly and laughing that we don't wake up because it's us. It's this. It's now. The now is us. No says, you can't not see this. Yes. Smithereens, it feels kind of like pulling off a bunch of blankets. Ooh. I love that. I love that. That's a brilliant pointer. All the blankets of belief and thought and sensations and everything, and then what's underneath? Just this. Mm. Mm. Peeling an onion layer by layer too, Vicky Doc, yeah. Until you realize there was never an onion. Peel, peel, peel. Wait, what? Oh, Erica says, can't relax today. Too much bothering me. That's a thought, Erica. I understand that thought. Right now, is there a problem? Right now, right now, right now. Is there a problem? That isn't a thought. Milkfish, there is no past, there is no future. All we have is the now. And the now isn't even the present. The present is in time. The now is not in time. The now is being, is another way to say it. The truth of your being, the isness, the alive awakeness that you are. When you drop all concepts, what are you? I'm just this. And even calling that I, you realize is a thought. Look for the I. And all you can do is realize what it's not. It's not the body. It's not the sensation. It's not the pressure behind my head. It's not the idea of what I am. Okay, what is it then? Beyond description, beyond time and space. But it's like as clear as day, because it is what you are. Delta wave, no problem. Here, only love. Yes, it feels like unconditional love. Perfect acceptance of what is. And a lot of other facets of the diamond of reality start to show up in that space, that no space. Unconditional love. The clear realization that everything in this is interpenetrated and interconnected with everything else. There are no coincidences. It's all one happening. And you know what? When we look at each other in this present space on live YouTube, the same thing that is looking out through my eyes and perceiving is looking out through your eyes and perceiving only itself. That's how radically connected we are. Even the word connected makes no sense when there's just this. And isn't it beautiful that we can create an entire world made out of thought and belief and the apparent existence of separate beings that are really all this one awakeness, this one now. That's why I love live. I love live, this live YouTube. I mean, I can feel your guys' presence because it's all one happening. It's all interpenetrated isness. It's impossible to talk about, and yet here I am trying to talk about it. I'm going to stop talking about it. All right, Melissa, we'll kick some rocks. Oh, I got to be careful. I got to catch a flight. I better not lose track of time. There's no time. There is no space. All is one in your face. The Tao according to Zhao. I love it. Zhao or Zhao. I never know the pronunciation, but that is perfect. I love it. Christopher Raymond, I'm trying to manifest oneness, but there are too many manifestations. Even oneness is a thought. I'm trying is a thought based on a few beliefs that there's an I and that you can do anything. What happens when we stop believing those thoughts and you just allow this? Jesse says, do you like California or Florida better? Well, I live in California, so I'm partial to California. I prefer fires and earthquakes to hurricanes and humidity. But I love Florida too. Milkfish says, what I've learned from studying ants is that even though they're all many separate entities, they think and behave as one collective with one self, always living in the moment. Looking at those kind of creatures, looking at nature, watch how animals and insects move. They are free from, in Zen, free from delusive hindrance. They just act. They are in a constant flow state. Time and space don't exist the way they do for us. Thought doesn't exist the way it does for us. So they're spontaneous. If you look at a cat, if you look at a dog, they are so present. And they energetically feel other beings connected. Horses do this. And humans do this. But we have the disease of the human mind, which is thinking, discursive thought, self and other, habitual thinking to try to escape the present moment because of want or lack, perceived want or lack. And if we can actually see that, everything can shift. Risa says a dog's pure joy and nowness is contagious. That's why we love animals. There was actually a beautiful quote in Angelo's book, Awake, It's Your Turn, Angelo DeLullo, that was from, I forget who, but he said something to this effect. And it applies to dogs. It applies to anything that has that kind of innocent nowness. It says something like, adults are the corpses of children who've kind of lost that sense of nowness, that wonder, and enter into polite society, which is another name for hell. And this is why, went the quote, something to this, I'm paraphrasing severely. This is why when we look at children, there's a subtle distancing that occurs because they remind us of what we've lost. And so even though we love them, we fear them a little bit because they're a reflection of what we've forgotten. And our minds won't let us remember. And I'm totally slaughtering that quote, but animals are the same way. And they bring us right into that magical presence. Pike's Peak Apothecary says it's all a simulation. Be the observer like it's all a movie. So this delves into philosophy a bit, which I'm trying to avoid because it's more thought. But you could definitely see this as a kind of simulation, that consciousness or awakeness or your true nature is just manifesting for itself, which means for no one, because there's only one. So you could definitely see it that way. And by taking the observer stance, saying, okay, I'm going to step out of being identified with the movie and I'll be the awareness that witnesses the movie. That's a huge advance. That's like realizing that Plato's cave is all illusion and you're trying to look around the cave and go, oh, okay, this is what's happening. So I'm sitting in the audience watching these shadows, right? Watching the movie. That's huge. That's a huge awakening. But it's still an identity, isn't it? It's still taking a position. It's still inhabiting a view. But what happens when that view collapses and you realize even that was an identity and you can release that? And then what's there? Only the phenomena. There isn't even consciousness. There's just this showing itself exactly as it is for no one. And the sense of self is entirely obliterated. And there's just one happening. And to say that it's you is even another form of identity. It's just this. It's impossible to talk about at that point. But it is what's actually real. That's what is happening. Even that sense of witnessing observer is a subtle thought form. You see why all the histories, religions, all of this other stuff they point in the kind of the direction of truth. Like, okay, yeah. But they always stop short. They always give the mind an out. Like they may separate it into self and God, or even in Buddhism, like, oh, you wake up and you're the witness and this and this, and yeah, there's really no self, but that's a self, or there's capital S self. So even those religions are allowing you to stay asleep in the most fundamental sense. They're giving you just enough to escape a certain amount of suffering, but not to see the truth, which is fine. That's all fine. It's all part of the story. Yeah, I'll stop talking about that because it can get weird. Emily Anderson, they stop short because of man-made rules. Exactly. They're all created by mind. They may point at truth, but mind will keep you from really seeing truth, because in the fundamental truth of the matter, there is no mind. It has no place. It has nothing to do. There's no you. There's no other. That is terrifying to the mind. So the mind will do everything in a societal context, which is an expression of the collective mind. It'll create religious structures that keep you asleep, because otherwise its own death is the only outcome. And the mind is designed to avoid that. Delta Wave. Doc, where do dreams really come from? Where does any of this come from? If you notice, and I did a podcast with Andrew Holacek, check it out. It's on YouTube, but it's only audio. He's a kind of dream yoga guy. So he works with lucid dreaming, is one of the world experts on it, being awake in a dream. And he says one of the most profound practices you can do is noticing the dreamlike quality of the waking state. And there are ways to do this, like reverse blinking. When you normally blink, you blink really shortly and then your eyes are open for a majority of the time. What if you reverse that? That's one of the most disorienting, terrifying things you can do, because the world, the waking state, starts to take on the quality and the ephemeral nature of a dream, and you can see it popping into and out of manifestation. That then shows you that the waking state and the dream state are just a matter of degrees. It's all a dream in that sense. So who's the dreamer? Can you find the dreamer? One of Andrew's great exercises is remember your last dream, really inhabit it. Now look for who's dreaming in that dream. Can you find them? Or is it just the dream that's happening? That is reality. It's non-duality. There isn't a subject and an object. There's just experience. There's no you in that. There's just experience. And it's impossible to talk about and have it make any sense until you experience reality as reality. Dan says, life's a video game. Are you increasing your score by watching this video? I hope so. I love it. It does feel like a game. Yeah, wonderful game. All right. You know what? I got to go. Holy crap, you guys. Thanks for hanging out. This was too much fun for me. This is a meditation for me. That's why I like doing it. I feel like I'm meditating with 134 people. We're sharing this. By the way, don't believe a word I say. It's coming out of nothing. It could be total horseshit. Dive into your own experience. Whatever I say doesn't matter at all. It's just again, a finger pointing somewhere. Don't look at the finger. Look where it's pointing in your own experience, and then see exactly how indescribable, untalkable about it is. But it's you. It's your birthright. It's what we are. And it is the end of suffering in this life taken to its conclusion. So I'm on the journey with you. The journeyless journey on the pathless path. to the goalless goal. It's all a paradox wrapped in a abstraction, wrapped in a dream. Awesome, you guys. All right, until next time, I love you. Wish me luck on my flight back. I'm always a little like, what are all the things, all the chaos that might occur, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it, every non-second of it. All right, guys, I love you. We're out. Peace.